सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not be disputatious and hate each other. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to the online classes. So we have finished Sthita Prajna Ka Bhasha. We are coming back to Karma Yoga. We did the first verse. Now we are going to do the next verse. Yajna Shishta. I'll just chant this verse again. Yajna Shishtashinah Santah मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. The righteousness who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all papas, sins. But those sinners who cook for their own sake eat sin. Very simple. See, in those times, even now, it's the pratha is still going on. That whenever we wanted anything from nature or Almighty or Paramatma, whatever name you give it, we used to have this elaborate rituals, burning of ghee, food items, putting fire, lot of wood, and everybody was doing this. All these portions of rituals, wherever they are doing, it was called karma kanda. Karma kanda means rituals, mechanical rituals which people do. Rituals also signify certain things. It is an idol which represents a higher ideal in life. So it means something. But everybody was going on doing rituals at that time too. So in the name of yajna. So as soon as you say, "Main yajna kar raha hu," I am doing a homam or I am doing a yajna, people say, okay, then we'll have to call pujaris, we'll have to do all the samagris, they'll give you a list of items to be bought. All those things need to be done. Ved Vyasa at that time saw that everybody was involved in doing rituals. A time was there when the population was less, trees were more, chandan ki lakdi, chandan, sandalwood was more. So people could actually use sandalwood trees for different reasons. As population grew and the natural resources became scarce, still people were continually mechanically doing the rituals. So rather than giving whatever is fed into the fire to poor people, they were continuing with the rituals in the way that is representing the higher. Ved Vyasa came and he started in the Bhagavad Gita. These are talking about 5,000 years back approximately. In the Bhagavad Gita to explain how we can interpret the word yajna. That's the beauty of our Shastras. That is why I said Ramayana when you were listening. Each and every time our Grantha, Ramayana and Mahabharata, including the Gita, which is inside the Mahabharata, represents certain things at a particular period of time. And when the coming generation comes, it is open to interpretation according to them. But the process of dharma, what is the right thing to be done, remains the same. The methodology may change, but the attitude may remain the same. So it's open to interpretation. Therefore, our granthas are never old. Lot of generations went by, orthodox books, and the religion has died away. So many religions have died away, taken over the so-called modernization or westernization. But our religion, the Hindu Dharma, Ramayana, Mahabharata, they remain the same, open to interpretations. And if it is interpreted properly according to the needs and times of the current generation, then it is helpful to the whole generation. So Vyasa 5,000 years back put the seeds of that thought. What is a yajna? Yajna, sister. So he says yajna is where normal yajna. How do you go about it? There the pandits come, they with the bricks they build a trough, a square portion. Then in between they put fire, wood, and then they start lighting up the fire. And they call everybody. The Yajman says that please come to my house and bless us. So the whole village or whoever he knows or she knows, they come. Like what we do in Diwali and Ganpati nowadays. Everybody comes. And when they come, they have to bring something with them. It's compulsory. It's not free. It's voluntary. So voluntary is not free. Compulsorily you have to get something. So each and everybody would come to the house. A big Seth, a big businessman will get a lot of wheat, rice, gunny bags full of wheat and rice. And the Yajman, the person whose house it is, he'll say, please put it in the godown there, that room, and that will be staked. So they'll write, this person gave 50 bags of rice, 50 bags of wheat, whatever. And the poor person comes and he brings like Sudama, just one handful of rice. They say that also you put it there in the godown, in that particular room. All the things are put, and then will that, all the things, they mix it up and make a prasada. And at the end of the yajna, they keep on offering the ghee. Every time they keep on offering the ghee, the fire god comes up so as to bless you. And at the end of the day, each one gets prasada. Each one of them gets prasada. And the prasada amount is not different from anybody. So a person who has got 50 gunny bags of rice will get the same amount of prasada with the same devotion as a poor man who hardly got anything except a fistful of his grains. But the amount of prasad will be the same. So Vyasa, what he did, this was the yajna. This was the way the yajna was. Vyasa said, each one of us should also do a yajna. Our yajna is what? My trough is my field of activity. Whatever be the field of activity, it is immaterial. There is no activity which is higher and lower. There is no activity which is big or small. All activities are divine. So my activity is the trough, the field of activity. In that field of activity, all of us, whoever are the participants, let us come together and contribute. All of us put our effort together. So somebody is recording this, somebody is editing this, somebody is taking care that no extraneous material comes in the group. Everybody is doing their role to perfection. Everybody is contributing in their own way. So when all of us contribute equally, that project has to be successful. That's all it means. Any project for that matter. So any activity, yajna sister, when you are working in the spirit of yajna, so yajna loosely translated means sacrifice. You are sacrificing so much. There are so many people who are talking. You know how much I sacrificed for my children, sir? How much I sacrificed for my children? And I saw beautiful. Please go do this. You go to YouTube, and in YouTube, I don't know, you'll get this. In YouTube, just type a mother duck saving her babies from a snake. Try it out. I did that 2-3 days back actually. There is this a hole in the earth, and a snake is trying to slither into that hole. The ducks chicks are there inside, babies are inside. The duck goes inside, it sees to it by flapping its wing, it sends all the children out. By the time the snake comes and eats the bird, it holds the bird and that bird is dead. Duck. A role of a mother. Look at the sacrifice of that animal duck and tell me your sacrifice or my sacrifice is bigger. We have this ego. And when you look at these videos, you see that actually, forget about raising myself. I am not even to the level of the animals. The amount they put emotion, the only thing is animals can only think about me and mine. There are 3 stages of any action. The first stage of action is called selfish action, where the actions are so self-centered, so ego-driven, that every action is preceded by the thought of what will I get if I do this? Some catch should be there. Either there has to be a monetary benefit, or there has to be an emotional benefit. A backslapping incident where people backslap my back and say, great work. Really, you're doing great job. Or a huge fan following. I don't want anything else except I want to become big. I want to do good to the world. Do it good to the world so that the world notices me. Somewhere down the line, I have an expectation with the world. This is called selfish action. A person, whoever is doing a selfish action, is constantly and forever agitated. Second stage. So a person, I am selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm just giving an example. I am selfish. Therefore, I am completely agitated. How does the thought go? Why is everything happening to me? What did I do wrong with people around? I try to do all the duties and responsibilities with the best of my abilities. Uske baad bhi, sir, you see no what has happened to my life. Really, nowadays good things don't pay. Really. Doing good, thinking good, these are all only talks. It really doesn't. So people send this WhatsApp messages every morning. Do good, be good. It is all only messages. It is there only in that WhatsApp group. Nothing else matters. World is like it. Selfish person is always perennially agitated, constantly. As soon as that selfish person is taught that, listen, your crying and your agitation and stress and tension will only stop when you look around that there are lesser mortals, there are people who are much worse off than you. I have my children have betrayed me. Now they have all flown the coop and they have gone and they don't respect me at all, sir. What do? I gave this beautiful example of a Malayalam movie which I saw. I don't understand Malayalam, but I saw the movie anyway. So in that movie, This lady is there with a daughter, very, very happy in a village, And when the daughter grows up, she suddenly realizes, she's about to get married. She suddenly realizes that this lady is not her biological mother, that she is an orphan, and this lady had picked her up when she was small from the orphanage. So she gets so angry with the lady, saying that, why didn't you tell me I am from orphanage? So the lady said, it doesn't matter. You are my daughter. It's as simple as that. No, how can you do that? And you are this, you are that, and lied to me and blah, blah, blah. She gets married and walks off, never to see her mother again. And this way, the time goes 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and the husband of the girl is intelligent enough. So he says, listen, whatever happened, she lied because you can't take it. Otherwise, she would have told you the truth. But what difference does it make if it is a lie or a truth? She's still your mother, right? She's there alone in that house. And you just left her and came here, and you think we will be happy? We can never be happy when somebody else, especially one of your parents or anybody, is miserable there. We can never be happy. So the girl understands, says, okay, I'll go. And she and the husband goes to meet the lady. The lady is sitting outside in the veranda, and she hugs the daughter. The daughter says, I'm so sorry. I know you are alone, this, that. So don't worry. This is life. It always happens. She is an illiterate lady. Okay. She's not educated in Vedanta and all. She's just illiterate. I say, everything happens. Don't worry. And say, Mama, I'm so sorry I did this to you. 5 years. I don't know how you managed. In that period, one small girl comes out of the door wearing a new dress, new gown, and she roams around the lady, and says, Mama, look, how do I look? And she says, my beautiful princess, you look so cute. You're my darling. And she hugs the baby. So this daughter is asking, who is she? So the mother is saying, listen, I had a little bit of emotions left after you went. You went. Therefore, I took another child from the orphanage. And now we are happy. If you have emotion, genuine emotion, why waste it, sit and cry over what has happened in my life? Is it possible for me to share that emotion? Is it possible to share my ideas and ideologies to anybody? Just share it. Unselfish activity. When I am unselfish in life, then I see that I'm giving happiness to others, people who don't know me. They are just happy that I am alive. I am just happy that they are alive and well. That's it. My happiness increases manifold. And since I know the technique now, is when I think about myself, I get most agitated. If I reduce the thinking about me and myself and my life and my family, the agitation is reduced, happiness increases proportionately. Therefore, the third activity is selfless activities. Selfless activities are those where I need to do what needs to be done, come what may, without any kartritva bhavana. Kartritva bhavana is the ego of I am the doer. Yajna, sacrifice, is this. Actually, to be honest, it is no sacrifice. It cannot be a sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you have something precious and you give it up. Agreed? Sacrifice is something which is precious to me and I have to give it up. I say, I sacrificed. What is a seed sacrificing? When it gives itself up to become a plant. What is a plant sacrificing to give itself up to become a tree? What is a child sacrificing to become an adult? What is an adult sacrificing to become a matured person, not old person, matured person? In one of the offices where I was working, there was this old, so-called old gray-haired person working, and one of the man called in Marathi, say Mahatara. Mahatara means old person. So this man looks up to that young guy and say, "Hey, Vedya," Vedya means old, fool. "Hey, Vedya, Mahatara nahi re, Mahan Tara." I am not an old man. I am the matured man, Mahantara. So, maturity, all this, who is sacrificed and what you are getting? You are getting something higher. Can a pupae, can a caterpillar claim that it has sacrificed its identity so that it can become a butterfly? That is not sacrifice. Sacrifice is always giving up the higher. Now here you are not giving. So you can't sacrifice, as Shastras are maintained. Usually it is associated with growth. It is only when the petals fall down does the fruit emerge. So the fruit will never say, I sacrificed my petals. It's impossible. So this attitude of sacrifice, so the righteous people, people who want to do right, who know what is right and what is wrong, and they continue in the righteous path. The righteous who eat the remnants of this sacrifice, when they are living a life of sacrifice, how? Bhajagovindam, the second verse. Mooda jahihi dhanagama trishna kurusad buddhim manasi vitrishna. Mooda jahihi, O fool. Mooda means O fool. Jahihi, give up. What? Dhana, wealth. Agama, Trishna, illusion. Illusion of coming of wealth. What am I going to get? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? What? Not only wealth, it's everything, whatever the world has to offer. Give up this illusion of the coming of anything that is receipt from the world. Mooda jahihi dhanadam trishna kurusad buddhim. Do what? Manasi vitrishna. From the mind, remove this illusion. Kurusad buddhim. Just use your head and get rid of this illusion of what am I going to get from anything. Then what do I do? Yalla bhase nija karmo utpattam. Whatever is your work, nija karma, not the other person's work. Your hard-earned money, nija karma utpattam. Whatever you obtain from your hard work, vittam, that wealth, tena vinodaya chittam, you revel. You revel. Revel, when we use the word revel in one of the classes, I said, you revel. Who told you no? Enjoy. So one lady said, yes, sir, I have decided that, we are very rich. So my husband, every week, 3 times a week, he goes to the bar, he throws a party and enjoys. I also decided. So I am also enjoying now. Reveling. That is not reveling. Reveling means consciousness. The higher reveling. Reveling, when you enjoy a higher level of life, it's called reveling. This is just useless. So, vittam tena vinodaya, that kind of a sacrifice, where now you are not bothered about what the world is going to offer to you. You love your activity to such a degree that just by doing the activity gives you great satisfaction. Just by practicing something, it's great satisfaction. Just by enjoying the act itself. Remember, it is always the journey, never the destination. Always the journey. So the journey is enjoyable. Destination, whenever it comes, doesn't matter. So remnants, a person who's righteous, who lives on this kind of sacrifice. I'm doing something. If I get well and good, I'll enjoy. Khatam. There is no guilt, pleasure. There is no putting the other person down or putting yourself up. There is no comparison with anybody in the world. Each one of us is unique. I'm serious. You better believe this. Don't allow the world to tell you who you are. Never give permission to the world to agitate you. You give permission to the world to agitate you, the world will agitate you. Don't ask for permissions. What is the right thing to do, you do and walk off. I give you a guarantee that when you are doing with honest hard work, with complete and proper process of application, success is guaranteed. किथे जाएगी? Where success will go? आएगी. It will come back. This person who eats the remnants of sacrifice, what happens to him? Is freed of all sins, all agitation. Sins represents agitations. He is freed from all sin. No more agitation at all. There is a lady who asked her son. True story, okay? Yeah, because we are going to take children's class very soon. So that this child is there, 14 years boy. And the lady asked, Beta, you know, there are so many people there. I just want to ask you, can you rate me 1 to 10 about how good a mother I was? Yes. Vangi Adi. Vangi Adi, Tamil, they say, you are asking to be hit. Ah, bel mujhe maar. Asking a 14-year-old boy of give a rating between 1 to 10 of how good is the mother. So the boy said, okay. And he wrote in a paper and gave it. And the mother looked and the rating is 5 out of 10. All the mothers, all the parents, everybody wants 10 out of 10. I want to be the 10 number husband, 10 number wife. And she said, oh, 5 is not bad. It's good. It's right in between. But why 5? Why not more? So the boy says, I gave you so much. Listen to these words. I gave you so much because when I tell you to go out of my room, you still go. Otherwise, it would be less. Why are you asking? I did the best what I can. But no, you could have done better, mom. You could have done better, dad. I don't think. I poured my heart, blood, toil, and sweat into whatever I needed to be done. And I think so I did it. I did a great job. I'm not going to ask anybody. There is no feedback. Feedback form. How do you think? No. You pour your all out, you are done. That's it. Be satisfied. Such a person is never agitated. Always freed from all sins. But those sinners who don't function in the spirit of yajna, remember the selfish action. What do? They cook their food for their own sake. So every time, what will I get? What will I get? Whatever they get, they cook, they eat, they enjoy. Acquisition, their whole life is based on more acquisition, more and more acquiring, and more what I should enjoy. Lot of money, but I will not give it to anybody. Forget about anybody. And somebody told me that, sir, you know, we can't give charity because all these NGOs are bad. Not necessary. There are a lot of NGOs which are good. You can just go to a particular school, municipal school, and just talk to the principal whether I can contribute X amount for a girl education. So that when a girl from a very lower background, economically lower background, she is struggling. Her parents are telling her to stop the studies. In spite of that, she's struggling and coming first and scoring in mathematics and science. Then that girl deserves a pat on her back and appreciation. Can't I, if I have the money to go to holidays every 3 months abroad, every time, every 6 months, I'm flying off 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees just on traveling. Is it possible a year to give 10 to 20,000 to such poor children for their merit? Not just blind charity, not that blind charity. Those who deserve it, can't I encourage? If you want to give, there are 1,000 avenues. If you don't want to give, you will not find a single avenue. You'll keep on asking, what can I do to help? Nothing, because the attitude is not there. Vocally you are talking. Such people are selfish people. They do everything for themselves. Even when they are helping, they want others to know that they help. Speakers, when they talk of helping others, Mahatma Gandhi, when he said we should do this, not because he's not doing it, but there are people who are inspired who can do it. What about others? Though they function for themselves, And such people eat what? Not food. They can't eat food. They eat papa, sins. They will have a plate full of all the goodies in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And by the side, they'll have another table full of medicines, a medicine cabinet. 6 medicines to eat, 6 medicines to digest what you eat. While eating also, you are thinking about something else. Your mind, or everybody's mind, a selfish person's mind, and I'm saying your mind, selfish mind is constantly agitated thinking about what all lacuna there is in life. Such people eat papa, sin. Therefore, what you do? Live a life of yajna, spirit of sacrifice, where you are doing what the best thing you can do for everything, and leave it. Have faith in the laws. There was a person, a king, and the king asked the minister, our country, there are so many people who are, I have not met a single sannyasi, true sannyasi. So the minister says, there's a dime a dozen sannyasis roaming around, sir. Dime a dozen. Everywhere there are sannyasis. Show me, na. Let me, I want to meet one. The minister says, yes, I will. Just days flew by, weeks flew by, and the minister did not get a single sannyasi. The king said, listen, you have been telling me there is a true sannyasi, people who give up everything. I have not yet found a single sannyasi. By tomorrow evening, if you don't present me with a good sannyasi, a true sannyasi, you don't need to come to the court. Now the minister was frightened. Till morning, he was looking for everywhere. There's not a single honest sannyasi roaming around. There are people roaming around. Ultimately, he did not know what to do. So he saw a vagabond, a fellow sitting under a tree with a toothpick. He was digging his head and just sitting like this, curly hair. He says, what are you doing? He said, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. I don't have any work. Okay. Can you act? Oh, I can act, no problem. I can act very well, sir. Okay. You have to act as if you are a sannyasi. Okay. I'll act. And for that acting, you have to act for 3 hours from evening 6 to 9. Done. Do you know how to talk? Yeah, of course I know how to talk, but don't talk much. Okay, I will not talk much. For that acting, I will give you a bag full of gold. Okay. Yes, why not? But don't talk too much. King will come, queen will come, the prince and the princess will come, everybody will come and fall at your feet. They will offer you perhaps much more than my bag of gold coins. Don't dare take it, because if you take that, then I will tell the king that you are a fake and you'll be put into prison. If you keep quiet and pretend as if you're not interested in anything, I'll give you that gold coins. He said, all right. It's a beautiful example by Swami Ramatirtha. He sits in full garb, long hair. You know, you get all this get up in the makeup wala, long hair, stick in the hand, kamandalu, and he's sitting under a tree. By evening, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, he goes to the king, the minister, and says, I found a sannyasi, he's right there sitting under the tree. He says, really, let come. And he took the queen, prince, princess, and great amount of thalis with all goodies. So everybody fell. The king fell at the sannyasi's feet. The prince's prince, the queen fell. And the king looked like this. The minister is standing. And the king is saying, I am falling down at the feet. The attitude is, how is he standing? So the minister also had to fall at the feet. The king said, Maharaj, I brought this for you. Maharaj, I gave this for you, the whole sweets. Maharaj, gold coins and jewelries for you. He looked at the minister. The minister said, he sat there. All the king and the whole people took the blessing. They were happy that genuine sannyasi and they went away. The minister came at 9 o'clock sharp. He got that bag of gold and he said, great acting, boss. What a way acting. I was impressed. I couldn't have done better myself. And he gave the gold coins to that man. The man looked up and said, he said, no, listen. The acting is over. Now you take your gold coins and go. He makes the person sit down and says, didn't you see something wonderful that happened here? I was a no-gooder, no job, nothing. You gave me a role to play, that of a sannyasi. And I played the role. Just by playing a particular role of a renunciate, a sannyasi, so many people came and took my blessings. The princes were there, the queen was there, the king was there. Even you, who knew I was a fake, had to fall at my feet. If I fake something, such amount of goodies and respect I get from the whole world, then what would happen if I really gave up all this? A true sannyasi. Thank you very much, sir. From tomorrow onwards, I'm going to get out of the house. I give up the whole family. That's the easiest thing, because no more responsibility. You don't have to give up anything. You just have to take up the higher. As soon as you take up the higher, the lower is taken care of. You are there everywhere. You do every activity with great dedication. But only one thing is, you give up the possessive attitude that I am doing it. Such a person reaches great height, and you will reach a position where other people will notice you. That's the beauty. When other people will notice you, you reach to the next verse. Yadyadhacharati shrestha tattaddevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastvadanubhartate. These, especially this verse, worth by hearting. So I'll tell you which are the verses by hearting. The previous verse was not worth by hearting. It's a good verse. This is worth by hearting. Whatsoever, so you have reached a state now, whatsoever the superior person does, that alone other people do. Whatever standard, pramanam kurute, he sets, the world will follow. This is a leader. Two things. What we do, I talk too much and I don't do anything. Okay. One is keep on sermonizing. You're not supposed to do this. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this. But I don't do anything. I do all the indulgences in life. Mind is full of junk, crazy, stupid ideas. And I am preaching to everybody that, listen, follow the higher, follow the highest. You have to reach the Paramatma. Only from here, nothing is here. Such a person can never become a leader. What a leader is supposed to do? Only one. That alone, whatever the superior person does. You want to learn anything, Vedanta, from any person, especially spiritual people. Look at how do things, small things, so beautifully. Forget the big lectures. Forget about how they talk. But how they are living their lives. Is their life uncomplicated? First of all, uncomplicated life, simple life, zero expectations and zero attachments. Finished. Such a person, then such a person, whatever he does or she does, the world will follow. That is why what they do is, wherever they see such a guru who is genuinely trying to help anyone in whatever way, because they are helping. Why? Because they have grown. Since they have grown, their attitude is, it has benefited me, then why am I keeping it to myself? I should share. Such a person is invited into other people's houses 7 days, 6 days for lectures. Sir, we want a Bhagavad Gita lecture. We will collect some people, 10, 20 people, and you can come and give lecture for 7 days. Done. We'll come. As soon as we reach there, what happens in that house? Their getting up timing changes. They start getting up in the morning at 4:30. Why? The teacher is awake. They start sleeping at night at 9:30, 10. Why? The teacher is left. They start eating healthy. Why? The teacher has to eat healthy. There are no fights, stress, agitations, and tensions in the house because the teacher does not like it. There's a teacher who always carries stickers with him, and the sticker is written, "Don't complain." And he goes to anybody's house and he puts that "Don't complain" sticker on the wall. Don't complain. And the student said, "Sir, I will. He's the old man. I will put." No, no, no. Teacher said, "No, I will only put." And he puts it. So in every house, he goes on top of the chair and all, and while putting, he'll put it a little bit like this. Not straight, like this. And the student will say, "Sir, excuse me, the sticker is not..." Shh, don't complain. It's written there. No complaints. That's it. When you do what ought to be done to the best of their ability, when you do that, people will follow. You become automatically a leader. How you become a leader? By doing whatever action you do. If you set it as an example, when a person is agitated, when my teacher is agitated, how does he react? There's this song, Kisi ki uskurahaton pe ho nisar, old song is there, where this hero, Raj Kapoor, I think so, he's walking, and as he's walking, he sees an ant, and he's about to step on that ant. He takes the leg outside, takes a leaf, he removes the, I think so, that's what it is. He removes the ant and puts it by the side. If you are such a person, even when nobody is watching you, you are a leader. And whatever action you do in your whole life, you may live with all the relatives around you, with all the relationships around you, and you may be steeped in complete action 24/7. Like Ram Tirtha puts this law. He says your body should follow the law of dynamics and your mind should follow the law of statics. Body should be dynamically active, conscious. So make your body so fit, so strong that 24/7 it can work in the world. Make your mind so mature, so calm, that in and through all these activities, meeting with everybody around, good and bad, yet it is never disturbed. Such a person puts all his or her actions as an example before the world. Such a person who does what needs to be done, and each and every action is that when a servant comes into your house and sweeps, she can leave here and there a little bit. But when you are cleaning your own house, you don't need a camera to say this is wrong, that is wrong. You do a beautiful job. Why? Because you are not doing this for salary. You are doing it because you are morally obliged to do it. You feel this is the need of the hour, therefore it needs to be done. Such a person who is morally obliged to do something perfect, they are always happy. Always. whatever activity they do it to perfection, according to their own standards. Again, it's relative. Somebody may say it's imperfect, that's different matter. You keep on increasing and becoming better, but internally you have done the best you can do. Such a person eventually, whether they like it or not, become the representatives perhaps of the whole nation. We'll continue next time. Thank you.